Talk Sport. Powered by fans.
And took it! What a goal! It's absolutely world class from Marcus Tunde! Wrestling against Jones. Get in! Terrific goal! Is there time for a winner? Is there?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hello from the Other Side. This week, coming up, we've got Millwall and at home at S6, and I'm happy to say I'm joined by Omer from that Millwall podcast. Is that right?
It is indeed. Thank you for having
Original
me.
name. I quite like that, mate. I quite like that. So thank you everyone for joining us. Like I say, Millwall are making the trip up north and to visit Sheffield on Saturday. So we're going to get into it. I mean, everyone knows what situation Sheffield Wednesday are on and off the pitch are at the minute. But Millwall, yourselves aren't doing the best, are you, at the minute, mate?
No, not really. I'm quite hopefully, new manager bouts and all that. I'm sure we'll get to in a minute. We've just appointed our new manager. But yeah, hoping that, wish you boys all the well, but hoping we can bounce back on Saturday when we go up to Hillsborough.
Yes, mate. Yeah, we've both got new-ish managers. Obviously, yours is only a couple of days in, ours is 4 games in. So we'll start there. We'll start with Rob Edwards. Is that right?
Joe Edwards,
no,
not Rob.
Joe.
Rob's the Luton manager. Everyone's been falling for that as well on our side, so you're not on your own.
Oh, that's all right. No, that's no problem. It's I'm not very good with names anyway. Mate. So 37-year-old, I got that bit right, I think, haven't I? He's a young manager. So what just for the Sheffield Wednesday fans that obviously probably don't know his name as well, mate. A little bit about him. What's your info you've got?
Yeah, I'll give you the crack. Obviously, Gary Rowett left, I think, second week of October. Obviously, he was with us for 4 years, or just shy of 4 years. I think he was the second longest manager in the league at the time. Obviously, we've had 4 top half finishes in a row. Quite, for us, a club of our size, doing quite well. It went a bit stale. Obviously, we missed that last day of the season against Blackburn Rovers, and everyone seems to poke fun at that whenever I pop onto other shows. I'm expecting no different today, but obviously, we was 3 up at half time last game of the season, end up losing 4-3 to Blackburn, who did have nothing to play for in the end anyway. Luton stuck in there, I believe it was. No, I don't think it was Luton. It was Sunderland who stuck in there last minute. We missed out. Went to the new season, and unfortunately, Rat decided to part ways with us, mutual consent. I think the club were happy, we were happy as fans. Somewhat, it was a bit mixed reaction in general, but I think 4 years of mid-table, top half finishes is great, but got a bit stale. And we've got a new manager in, Joe Edwards. He arrives. I think he was previously in the gig at England under-20s as their head coach, only a short-term spell there. And prior to that, he was Frank Lampard's assistant manager at Chelsea and Everton. And obviously with that, he's got the experience. He's also come through and managed all Chelsea's youth setup teams from, I think, under 6 all the way up to under 23. So, good pedigree, young manager, part of that kind of mold of, a young manager looking to make his name. It's his first job as a manager or a head coach, should I say. It's new territory for us to have a head coach. We've always had managers, so it's kind of a shift as well from the club side of things. So, exciting times. Kind of the unknown, I suppose, but looking forward to the roller coaster that's about to come in, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we were the same. We've appointed someone first managerial job, 34-year-old, very unknown as a manager, but got a good coaching pedigree with the assistant manager's jobs he's had. So you mentioned that with Gary Rowett that 4 mid-table seasons in the Championship, mate. I'd snap your hand off for that.
Yeah, and I'll make you right too. In my lifetime supporting Millwall, I've been grateful for we've been used to the rollercoaster Championship League One, Championship League One, Championship League One, and I'm much the same. I think just from talking my own experience, it's great, but it's kind of like you're right. 4 years top half, brilliant. I think last season we finished 9th in the end. It sounds like we're a bit spoilt there, but that is the modern day football fan, isn't it? I suppose in a sense, it's a weird kind of dynamic to that really. But I think I think the relationship with Rowett was, despite the good performances and finishing in top half, the football was quite bland to watch. There wasn't much to it. I think, we're a club that's up and at 'em, a bit like, I think, Sheffield Wednesday. I don't think I'm doing you guys any injustice with that. You guys like to have a side that runs their heart out, gives everything on the pitch, but we want a bit of talent in there as well, I think. And we've got good players in there. And if you ask me what our style of play was on the route, I couldn't tell you. And that's coming from someone that goes home and away and watches every game and tries to go to as many as I can. And there was no identity to us. And I think that's something we're kind of missing. And hopefully with Edwards, that's something we'll kind of put right, fingers crossed.
Yeah, is the mid-table thing? I think obviously you'll know this. That obviously it comes to a point of the owner or the club needs to spend some money, and have you got that at Millwall? Forgive me, I don't know a great lot, but if you are mid-table, there's going to be that. Apart from last season, obviously, where I'll not mention it, but you just did miss. Unfortunately, you missed out. There is that where you're going to have to spend some money to get there.
Sure.
Will the owners back the new manager? Obviously, in January, can't do much about it in right away. But will you have money to spend?
I think we're quite, I think owners is a bit of a taboo subject on this podcast, so I'll be a bit careful with the Sheffield Wednesday fans.
Mate, you can say anything about our owner because I'm sure it's been said many times before.
Of course, and I think we've got down the road from us is Charlton Athletic, who have had a lot of similar experiences with bad ownership, and people that come in with big plans, promising to be in the Premier League in 5 years' time, and they're in League One, for example, and that doesn't ever materialise. But in our scenario, we've got a chairman called Jimmy Berylson, who is the son of John Berylson, who sadly passed away in the summer. Our owner died in a car crash, so he's inherited that from his dad's. And John Berylson took over, I think, 2006. So we've had a lot of stability there, long term, and in the financial sense, the club's very stable. We never really exceed our spending limits and never kind of take the risk of imposement of financial fair play and everything like that. And as a fan, that's what you want. Your club's in safe hands. I think it's just trying to find an angle with that, though, and I think the club's trying to shift that way. I talk about the head coach kind of thing now. It's the first head coach we've had in our history. I think we're trying to shift away from the old conventional style of football and how a club should be run, and we're trying to go to find an edge. You look at Brentford, for example. They always bought players cheap, sold them for more money, tried to find an angle with that, and I think that's what we're trying to do. Try and find our own edge. Try and have we're in Southeast London, which is a hotbed for homegrown talent. Trying to invest in the academy, the training ground. So there's different angles with that, and I think hopefully with that shift as well to the head coach and a young manager coming in to looking to improve himself, that's maybe the dynamic we'll try and do and have our edge there that way. Fingers crossed. But yeah, the financial stuff is there. We've spent money on a couple million pounds on a couple of players. Seen Fleming's our talisman, who got top goal scorer last season, and was grabbing the headlines. Linked to a move to Burnley in the summer for 15 million, but it didn't quite happen.
Did well to keep hold of him, didn't you?
Yeah, really? Massively. And also Kevin Nisbet, who we signed in the summer from Hibernian for £2 million. Again, spent a bit of money. I think it's just, we've got the finances, but it's being smart with it instead of just being gung-ho, which I think as a fan, you appreciate and understand.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, because we'd love someone to be a bit reasonable and with our finances, but as everyone sees and everyone comments on, it's not really happening for Sheffield Wednesday at the minute. Obviously last season we will touch on it a little bit. Obviously, massive disappointment. But just on that, obviously another team that just missed out, Coventry. And obviously, if you look at how they've started as well, I mean they're 20th at the minute and not won in the last 6 games, I believe. So there is that hangover, should we call it, maybe that yourselves and Coventry are suffering from. Is it difficult at the minute being a Millwall fan? And I can ask that because it's proper shit at the minute being a Wednesday fan.
Yeah, it's never a dull day being a Millwall fan, I'll be honest. I love it. It's the best thing in the world. But yeah, of course, at the minute, results are going against us. We've not won since Plymouth away, which was, I think, start of October, 2-0 win away at Plymouth, which was a great result for us at the time. We've not won many games. There's a skill gap, I feel like, and I think that's what the frustration is amongst Millwall fans, because we had 4 seasons where we've been in and amongst it and not really capitalise on it. And, how many times you're going to be able to do that, reasonably speaking, with the budget we've got? Maybe that's the missed opportunity we've missed now. And last season might have been our final chance for a little while. Who knows? But it's not tough. It is, but you wouldn't have it any other way. I'm going up there Saturday, and if we win, we celebrate on the way back. If we lose, we drown our sorrows. It's kind of how it is being a football fan, isn't it?
Mate, I hear you there. It's just been more times than I've been drowning my sorrows this season rather than there's only been one time that I've been celebrating.
Sure,
and that's maybe the 0-0 at Leeds. Maybe that was probably a good result for us. Like I say, you're making the trip up to Sheffield. On a personal note, what are you expecting? Have you been to Hillsborough before?
I have a few times. I remember I've been there. I think this is my 4th visit up to Hillsborough, actually. So it's a good ground. I love it. It's a classic old football ground, and for that reason, I love always going up there. And when I try to go, I don't want to miss it. Really, it's one of those games I always try to look out for. Obviously, just get promoted as well this season, so I did want to come to this one. I've not seen us win there though. I think last time we won there, I was checking before coming on your show. I think it's 2005. You might have it in front of you. So would you one up there, to be honest, mate? And I think we've been in quite a good nick against you boys in recent years, in a sense, home and away. I think we drew 0-0 last time we went up there. I remember Bodvardsson, our striker, missing a chance in the 95th minute, ran away through on goal. Raining day in February, I think it was, pissing down with rain, and we end up, drawing 0-0 and getting a grim 0-0 away draw. But to be honest with you, I'll take a draw Saturday. Hopefully a bit more entertaining than that one, but yeah, we drew one. I think even one year I remember going and we played in your away kit for the first half because our kit man forgot his kit. So there's a fun little nugget for you. I think we played. It was when 2013 we wore your yellow and blue away strip for the first half, and then the kit turned up for the second half. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the things here. So obviously in the last 6 games we've only won one. So obviously, I don't like to go too far back, but obviously, 2018 was when we won. So history is probably on your side. Overall, we've won 19. This is history, and you've won 16, and we've drawn 16. So it's, if you want to go all the way, then we're very evenly matched, which I'll take. I mean, we've got it. We've got to start getting points on the board, Omer, as you can see on the league. So at home against Rotherham last time out, great win, 2-0. Really should have been a lot more. And we are improving. I'll say that for us. We are improving under our new manager. So hopefully it's going to be another step up. Obviously, we missed out against Bristol thanks to the refereeing decisions that have gone our way with a red card. But I mean, it's going to be a great game. Like you say, it's going to be for the away fans coming up. New manager bounce, like you said before. You're hoping for that. Any sort of inkling of how he's going to set up. It's hard. I know it's a bit of a daft because he's probably only going to have a couple of training sessions as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he took his first training session today, so that's Tuesday at the time of recording. So, Wednesday, sorry, at the time of recording. So, not sure what to expect, to be honest. I think he's obviously coming in with that Premier League pedigree of being under, youth coach, and that's the fear. Is he going to try and reinvent the wheel too quickly overnight? It's got to be a bit of progression. I watched his interview with the club media yesterday, and it was more on the lines of, trying to do it slow and steady, but also trying to implement a few things straight away. So don't expect wild changes from us. I think probably maybe we've been playing a back 4 recently, but under Rout is playing a back 5. So there could be a couple of dynamics there for that. But I mean, I really don't know what to expect, if I'm totally honest with you, Ash, but we'll see what happens. I think it's just, I want to see the players up for it, and hopefully he'll drive that into them and get them on side quickly, and they'll want to play for him, and hopefully a bit of excitement for us, really. And that's all we really want. And I'm sure you boys are going through similar with your manager. So I'm looking forward to it, though, because I love going up to Sheffield Wednesday. And there's always a bit of bite to the Sheffield Wednesday Millwall games normally, from what I remember. So hopefully it's a good little occasion, a good atmosphere to go with it.
Yeah, you sound exactly like obviously Sheffield Wednesday fans when we appointed our new manager. Even with 4 games in, lost 3, won 1. It this progression there. We didn't know how he was going to come, set up, and play, but it does look positive. And a lot of the fan, well, I would say 99.99% of the fans are right behind him. Even though, all right, yeah, we would have liked more wins straight away, but there is something there. So. You may experience that. It may take you a couple of months. Obviously, on Saturday you're going to lose, so he's going to take a lot from that game. Yeah, his first game in senior management, should we call it, which it is. I just hope he hasn't learned too much from his mentor Frank Lampard, because poor lad's not had the best of managerial. We've. it's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it. Sadly, I'm a season ticket holder, but I'm not going to be there on Saturday. I've got other commitments. Going over to Germany for the weekend, actually. So,
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah,
that's where your new manager's
so,
from, isn't it? Are you on a scouting mission for him, or?
don't say that. No. There's a group that's going to go over to watch a Hertha Berlin game.
Excellent.
So we're going to have a day out, weekend out in Germany.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be. I was going to try and put something, but it's. If you look at the Sheffield Wednesday, obviously you've been up to Hillsborough a few times, so if you look at the Sheffield Wednesday squad, as a Millwall fan, you look at that, you look at the team sheet that's going to come out. Who are the names that, for you personally, that you're going to look at and think, actually, like Barry Bannon, I would imagine he's had his red card rescinded, so he's going to be available on Saturday. So other names that you're familiar with, obviously we haven't played you for a couple of seasons, so it's.
The main man for us is Lee Gregory. Obviously, he was with us for a few years, so that's always the one that sticks out for us. I know he's not been in the. I don't think he played last week, did he? So
no,
I know Michael Smith's come in and scored a few goals. So I'm hoping Gregory doesn't start Saturday, because there's always that fear of an old player scoring against you, really. And I mean, for us, Gregory, we loved Gregory. We plucked him from Halifax Town at the time, spent I think $250,000 on him, which for us at the time under Holloway was a big kind of gamble. Paid off in the end. I think he got to like 80, 90 goals for us for over the course of like 6-7 years. And like obviously, you just want your players to do well, but not against yourselves. You know what I mean? So Gregory obviously sticks out. There's a few other players that I know from your side. I mean, I always like to look at Marvin Johnson, for example, and there's a few other players that come to mind. Iorfa, I like him. I think he was at Waterfall, wasn't he? So he's always been a good little centre half. So, but yeah, I mean, I know a bit about your side, but I think there's a few players in there I don't really recognise when I was looking through your list. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, we had 13 arrive over the summer, and probably some of them we don't recognise, mate, to be honest. So we did need a squad overhaul from promotion. And like I said, I think there was, 11 out of the 13, probably not many have heard of. It was quite a much changed team, and obviously the manager that signed them has now left. So obviously, same as your manager, he's inherited now a group of guys he's got to work with until January. But yeah, Lee Gregory is well liked at Sheffield Wednesday. I know all the history of him supposedly being a blade and all that, but I think that's been cleared up, and he's took on. And I know he does great things with. He's just been announced last week. He's a supporter of our Armed Forces Owls group. So a big shout to them. So he's involved with them, which is great. Love seeing players doing stuff like that. And Michael Smith on Sunday obviously started against his old team and scored 2. So you never know, do you?
No, you don't. Sure.
I hope he does. I do like Gregory personally. I think he's a great player. And obviously, I think he's the wrong side of 34 now. I think he's 35. I think so. Probably his last season at Sheffield Wednesday if he continues somewhere else. I'm going to ask you for a prediction in a bit for the game. Obviously, you're going to say Millwall are going to win, of course. Because I always say Sheffield Wednesday are going to win, and obviously I've been wrong 14 out of 15 times or whatever it is. So I've got to get one right. Like I said, looking at you've lost, drawn, and drawn. Are you confident then you're 18? You are 7 points clear of relegation, so you must be. It was the right time to make the change, and you're confident you're not going to get dragged into it.
I hope so. I think, like I said, the only fear in the back of my mind, I'm quite happy with the appointment of the manager and excited to see what he can do. And you don't know what it's going to be, but I think I'm confident there's 3 worse teams than us this year. I don't want to say you boys are worse than us, but at the moment you are. But obviously you've got Huddersfield down there as well, and Plymouth. Good sides, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there's 3 worse teams than us at the minimum. And if he gets us going straight away, we've got a tough kind of set of fixtures coming up. Obviously going to you on Saturday, as you know, like Obviously, you only won one game. People might say, "Oh, it's ideal for a new manager." I think if anything, going up to Hillsborough, it's going to be a tough game. I know it will be. And after that, we've got Coventry, Ipswich, Sunderland. So there's big games coming, and Leicester for us as well. So it's a tough start for the new gig for him. So I think that if we look at it, there is a bit of pressure on Saturday for us, and to try and get a result, to be honest. But we'll see. I'm confident we'll stay up though.
Yeah, the old cliches. There's never any easy games in the Championship.
Very true.
And it is true though. It really is, because we've seen some of the results that have been going. Ipswich 2-0 with Rotherham last night, and at the weekend they were 2-0 down to Rooney's Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 results then, which I'm sure they would have looked at for 6 points to keep up, and they got 2 out of it. So
very true.
there is that. Just been looking at your goal scorer list as well. So obviously you've not been blessed with scoring that many goals, but you have scored probably like 3 times as much as us, which is things. So your top scorer is Zian Fleming, 4 goals,
correct,
2 assists. Is he? Forgive me, because obviously I don't know. Is he a real threat for us?
Yeah, he's the danger man. I mean, he plays in the 10. Again, I don't know how we're going to set up on Saturday under the new coach, but typically he plays in the 10, tries to get on the ball a lot, efforts from range, likes a free kick as well. He's a bit of everything, really, and I think he's that step above us, to be honest. If you put him into Ipswich, how they're playing, he'll be on 15 goals already this season. That's how I feel about him. Like, he's a top player, but you stick him in amongst Millwall, and it's like, he's definitely the main man to watch out for. And obviously our midfield's quite good as well. George Saville in there, he's not really had the run of the games this year, but he's come back in last couple, and he battles, and I think he'll suit the kind of game up at Hillsborough. There's a few standouts in there. Obviously, Cooper at the back is ever consistent as well, 6'6", and set pieces he tries to get on. We're not scored from a corner for a long while, so we're due one.
Oof.
So
we're exactly the same. Our set piece to goal ratio is atrocious. It really is, especially from corners. It's something. It's every football fan. You get a corner, you go, ooh, oh, come on. And I think most Sheffield Wednesday fans are going to go, bloody hell, no, might as well just. But on the attacking, conceding is probably one of our weaknesses. So don't tell Joe Edwards that if you speak to him. Don't. Coming up to Sheffield, like I say, you're going to make the trip up to Sheffield. What's your bit of a match day routine then, mate? You say you're home and away. What's your away? Are you a train man, driver, coach, or?
I'll be on the train. I'll be at King's Cross or St Pancras. So I think it'd be
fingers crossed for you. You'll be on the
train. Yeah, fingers crossed. So, but 10 o'clock out of King's St Pancras on Saturday. Be struck Sheffield. I do enjoy Sheffield as an away day normally. You've got Manchester as a good one. Sheffield's always a good one. So, so look forward to it. A few drinks in town before the game, and when we get on the tram normally. I think last time we went up there, the tram got smashed to pieces. So, be nice on us, Sheffield, this time around. But so it'd be fun.
I think it's Millwall that have the little bit of a reputation. I'm sorry to say that, but look, no, it's an away day I'm looking forward to. I've not been down to Millwall, so I'm going to make the trip this season. So I am looking forward to it.
You're looked after as away fans when you come to Millwall, because you've got our station nearby, and then there's a little tunnel way straight through to get through. So whereas for us, we'll be on the tram on Saturday, and whatever happens. But when you come to Millwall, it's one of those away days where everyone's got the stigma about it, but you're well looked after when you come down to the Den, so you'll be all right.
That is one thing that I would probably say about Hillsborough for away fans, and obviously we don't really talk about away fans a lot. You know what their thing is, but Hillsborough is away from the train station. You have to get a tram in. Yep. But there is no real close away drinking pubs. If you're doing that, you have to stay in the city centre and then obviously get your tram in and then walk in from the bus on the tram stop. So it probably is one thing it could do improving for away fans, because I've been to some cracking places where Exeter, you get off the train outside the station. This is League One, this, Omer. We were there for a couple of years. And it was straight off the train to an away pub within 500 yards of the stadium. It was cracking. It was really good. Yeah, and that was one thing I did like about League One.
It's what I miss as well about it. The Rochdales, the Berries at the time when we was down there, it was great. Oldham, all of them have obviously now gone cease and desist, a couple of them. But yeah, it's I love the northern away days where it's a small remote town. I love them. They're the best. Scunthorpe as well comes to mind as well. You enjoyed that one.
and you're not paying £8 a pint either.
Precisely.
Brilliant. Right, mate. So 3 o'clock comes Saturday. First half. What you thinking? Let's have a quick run through about how you think it's going to play, and then we'll finish with the final score.
Ooh,
so first half, you're gonna be
feeling our way into the game. Hopefully, new manager. Hopefully, a bit of a bright start. That's what I'm hoping for. And if we get a goal early doors, even better. But we're one of those clubs, especially under our previous manager, where we score early, you got something to defend and hold on to, not continue to crack on with. So if we score early, hopefully under the new manager, we'll score a few more, to be honest. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I really hope we get an early goal, as we showed against Rotherham. Were easily the worst team we've played, and I know we can say that we were bottom of the league, obviously, but they were easily the worst team we've played. So we got an early goal against them, scored again before half time. So it could have been 4-0. So I'm hoping the same. I really hope we are struggling scoring goals. So if we get an early goal, I do think as defence is a lot better than as attack, if that makes sense, that we would be able to hold out, especially at Hillsborough. So yeah. I'm going to go that. Hopefully first half, early goal for us. Early goal for you, so that's a draw at the minute. That's 0-0.
I think the big thing for us as away fans, whenever I've been up there, is keep the ball, try and stop your fans coming into the game, stop your boys winning corners, just try and win the 50-50s and prevent the crowd from going, because when you boys do get going, it's a big tool for you guys. And I know obviously you struggled this season, but I've seen it multiple times up there where you guys get going. I'm thinking you're sucking the ball into the back of the net here. And I think that's the big thing for Millwall, I think. And I'm sure a lot of away teams think that when you come down there, just ride the storm and try and see it out.
Yeah. How many are you bringing up to Sheffield? Are you sold out, or do you travel well? I mean, obviously you travel well, but we're a bit hit and miss. Obviously, like I said, with the old manager, where it's kind of gone a bit stale. That I think there's core 800 that always go, but I think because of the new manager announcement, there's going to be north of 1,000. So I don't know if it's that figure at the moment, but I reckon there's going to be quite a few up there that were not planning to go, but because of the new manager in his first game, we're going to take a decent flowing up there. So hopefully, it should add to the atmosphere. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Obviously. Always love seeing the Leppings Lane in full away. It does act, even for home fans, it's better than having it like just half a stand or think, and especially loud. It don't matter how many you bring, as long as you're loud and you have a bit of banter and all the songs going with that T1 in the corner. They love all the songs, so you'll get that. So we're into the second half. Wednesday 4-0 up. What? I'm positive. I'm trying.
I love it. I'm the same normally pre-game, and then you catch me at 3 o'clock at kickoff, and I'm like, get me out of here.
Oh yeah, 4 minutes past 3. I'll probably I'll check my ACCA that's lost already, and then 2, I'll look at the scoreboard at Hillsborough. We're 1-0 down. That's it. But it's football, isn't it? Second half, don't know, do we? Obviously, it's the thing. It's all depending. We've got a set way of we think we're going to be playing now after 4 games. We can see it, but for you like we keep mentioning, you guys, it's a bit of a free hit, isn't it? It really is.
Like it, yeah.
We are pretty. I was going to say we're pretty strong, but on our bench we have got some players that aren't in the first 11 at the minute that could be, but I'm not going to say the danger men, because we're not scoring goals. So do you know what I mean? But we've got competent. We've got quite a good squad of a core 18 to 20 players that probably would get in first team. So we're all right on the bench. We've got a young lad, 18-year-old, Cadamartre, son of Danny Cadamartre, who's played for the Blades. Oh, yeah. So he's knocking him in for fun, and there's been a big clamour from our fans to get him minutes, because he's not really had any minutes at all, and with his lack of goals. So hopefully we'll see him on Saturday on the bench, and he's got a bit of pace about him as well. So he's going to come on in the second half, mate, and tell you. But 90 minutes, right? I'm going to ask you. Go on, prediction. Let's finish this off, and I'll let you go. And What's your thoughts? What's your head? Here we go. Head and heart. Let's do a head and heart.
Correct. I think so. Yeah, I mean, interested to go the youngster route. We've got an under-19 England international on our setup as well, Roman Esse, who is one to watch out for as well. I don't know if he'll play, but obviously we get the development youth coach in. That's hopefully going to bring these players on, and they'll get better. And maybe we sell them on for money that day, and that'll be our angle. So yeah, second half, hopefully look out for a couple of our youngsters coming on too. But my head says, do you know what? I am confident ahead of Saturday, but it's a tough place to go. I'll go heart first. My heart says we're going to win. We're going to win 2-0. That's my prediction. From my heart, from my heads, I'm going to say 0-0 or 1-1. I think, look, I think, to be honest, I do feel like we should be winning Saturday. New manager, but it's the uncertainty with it as well that comes with that. We've not been in great form, let's be honest, though. So I think a 1-1 draw, maybe us scoring early, playing really well, and you guys nicking it towards the end and getting a 1-1 draw. I think you'd walk away happy with that because getting a draw. I think we'd walk away thinking we played really well and looked good and should have won it, and thinking, here we go, new manager, off we go. So there's my realistic expectation: 1-1 draw.
I like it. I'm a bit the other way. I think we can, like I said before, progression, but then there's the thing of it's a new manager. If it was Rowett, then you could look at the last 5-6 games and go, "Oh, this is how they're playing. This is where." But with a new manager, it's total blank sheet of paper. You cannot. Danny Rohl, our manager, has got no indication. Obviously, he's new to league anyway, so he's learning himself, but no indication. But it's going to come to a point now. We've got to start winning games, and to look at a team coming who's in poor form like yourself and a new manager, you're thinking, actually, if you look at these, this is a game that. Not should, we could, and we might win. So I hope he goes for it. And we're still not scoring, so I want to go 1-0. But I like what you were saying about a draw as well. I think we would be content with a draw because it keeps the momentum going. It's a win, it's a draw, a loss, then it's a draw, and then obviously. Going forward, we've got Birmingham coming up as well, so obviously they're struggling. So
what's the odds of 1-0 Lee Gregory? What's the odds? There's one for you for Saturday. 1-0 Lee Gregory.
I am not putting my favourites up at the minute. Sky bet, but hey, 1-0. I will take that, even if it comes off his bum and whatever. Yeah, 95th minute of Lee Gregory's bum. 1-0 Wednesday. The Owls have won. I think I'll take that. Mate, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Always love talking to the opposition fans about their club and their team when they're coming or when we're visiting. So thank you very much for joining us, Omer. It's been a pleasure.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us. This has been Hello from the Other Side, a Wednesday week podcast. Check us all out on the socials. They're on the bottom here for the God knows whatever all this is. And it's been a pleasure. And up the Owls 1-0 win off Lee Gregory's bum. Cheers.